Another important truth is that the Holy Spirit convicts the world about righteousness. He, the Holy Spirit, convicts the world about righteousness. So Van, please read John chapter 16, verse 10.
About righteousness, because I am going to the Father, and you will no longer see me.
So He, the Holy Spirit, convicts us, convicted people in the first century, will convict people into the future about righteousness, because Jesus went back to the Father. Jesus was the one that was teaching people about the nature of righteousness and unrighteousness. And now that Jesus is back with the Father, ruling at the Father's right hand, now that responsibility of convicting the world about their lack of righteousness and about the righteousness of the Father and the righteousness of the Son falls on the Holy Spirit to convince us of those things. So Van, in your life, what is an example of unrighteousness? An example of how you fall short of the Father's perfect standard?
So I've shared in past videos how I was in prison, and I'm thinking of a time there where I experienced hate from people for whatever reason, but I'm thinking particularly of one guy who every time I passed by him, whether passing by his cell or otherwise, he would make gun noises at me as if he was shooting me in my back, trying to kill me. And it's embarrassing, but at that time, the way I responded to his hate was with hate. And every time he passed by me, I would make noises at him, and that was such a terrible time in my life, and I have a terrible feeling in my stomach right now just sharing that story. But the Holy Spirit has convicted me multiple times over the years to never ever hate a person like that again.
And Van, one area in my life where I'm unrighteous is my lack of faith. Specifically, my lack of faith and how it manifests itself in anxiety. Now, whether I'm thinking about my wife or my future or my kids and where they're going in life, there is a very natural, appropriate amount of thinking and praying that we should do. But sometimes what happens is we just get focused on those things and we start running those things around in our minds again and again and again. But at times it just reflects my desire to control those things that are outside of my control. So what I want to do is I want to be a faithful dad, I want to be a faithful husband, I want to be a faithful pastor, do what's under my control, and trust God for all of those things that are not under my control. And that's a lot. So those are a couple areas, whether it's Van talking about hatred that has been in his life, or even to this day, my lack of faith as it expresses itself in anxiety. Those are unrighteous thoughts and actions, and He, the Holy Spirit, helps us to see that.